Hey folks, welcome back to Timberpunk and take 2 of me recording this intro because I realised I hadn't checked the comments on the last video, but I think I've had a look now and absorbed those, and we'll maybe get to looking at some of them as we go through. The thing I was saying about in the last video about there being loads of comments that I couldn't see was apparently a YouTube issue. I've not gone back and checked to see whether they were real comments or not. So anyway, this video is late because I have finished my holiday from work now, but the end of that holiday ended with being quite busy. And by the time I got to the evenings, I didn't feel like recording stuff. So here we are, having been back at work for a little bit, and it's the weekend now. So yeah, anyway, I'm rambling, which happens. At the end of the last video, we were trying to get the water from this aquifer and the aquifer that exists somewhere under here up into the main reservoir. And on day 4, having added the extra pump, we are almost at the point where we're going to start spilling into this extra area. And picking up on one of those comments, one of the things that I was talking about there was maybe bringing, because we're at the point where this is paused, we could bring the spare water from here back across into here as well. The other option is using that water for irrigation over here. And I might have a look at doing that. I guess one way we could do that is having another set of valves here. Maybe a valve here. Or just a simple floodgate here, I guess, that's set high enough that then drops water into here. That would be a really simple way of doing it, actually. And the same here, having a really high floodgate here so that this can flow back. That would actually work. And that would be really simple to implement. Let's just have a quick look at doing that as a start. Because I think all we would need to do, we actually have the floodgate here. So I think literally all I would need to do this end is dynamite this. I don't even think I need to do that. But I could. Because this is set to keep this at 0.6. It's currently at 0.96. And these are off res full. This is on depth. Res full is backup pump. Res full is this guy. So this is set at 0.95. So if we set this at 0.9, it would never fill, but it would get pretty full, and the spare water would then flow into here, and that would keep these churning. And I'm pretty sure that with the way this works, how is this pump set up? It's been a while. So this pump runs off of backup pump. I click on backup pump, click on there, that takes me to this one. The backup pump kicks on at 3.95. Controller is running these guys. We could make this smarter so that it only keeps this to a certain depth, which is lower than this. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this thing. So those have that. Then I think all we would need to do is, and this is not a bad time to be doing this. I'm going to say that. Let's come here. Let's put that there first. Let's put that there. Let's grab some path. And remember, folks, there is nothing like plan because this is not planned, as always. kind of spoken about doing this, but we have a bad tide approaching anyway, so we might not get this done in time. But, you know, we can get more water in here. That would be cool. So they should be able to get to all of this. And then, yeah, I think we will ultimately want another. I think what we probably want to do is put in a proper depth sensor, which really bugs me still. These are under decoration. These are not decorative. These are very useful, but you know. So that's that going. We'll deal with that. We need to come over here and do more of this, but we'll get this working first. So let's run the game a little faster, shall we, folks, as well. Let's turn the pace up a little bit. So they're in. I'm not going to blow this until we've got it all sorted, I don't think. You're in, so let's detonate you. Let's grab a floodgate and put you there. And then we can just link you there with a little bit of explosives. Fine. So you're going to be set on 0.9. You're in. You're going to be set on 0.9 as well. Let's blow you. Let's detonate you. Let's see what happens. We can always change this, so it'll be okay. It'll be okay. We're going to get a bit of looping maybe with this, but we can automate this off of some seasonal stuff. So it'll be okay. Yes, we're losing a little bit. That should sort itself out as it all deals with things. This should switch on. Yes, some of it's flowing back into here, but it's not being lost, so that's okay. And it's ultimately it's flowing into here. And then it's flowing into here, and it'll all be captured and balance itself out. So that's good. So what we want to do now that's working, is look at this guy. So what we're going to do with this is I'm going to remove you. We're going to come here. We're going to create a signal from this of mangrove. Let's just call it mangrove irrig. We're going to come in here. We're going to create a rule which is season not temperate. Resume, and then irrig. That can just be whatever for now. We want script. So, seasoning not temperate, and let's go with Control C. You are, let's say, less than 3.5. Picking a random number. Guard, delete, duplicate, invert, script. So, season is temperate, or the depth is greater than, let's go 4.5. Save. Okay, so that pump's paused. We are going to have be automated. So you indicate if it's temperate. That should work. Automate off of you. So if you are on, the flow limit is going to be 0. If you are off, it's going to be unlimited. So that should now be shut. And then when it switches off, it'll open. That's fine. And we can do the same for this guy. And we can essentially just copy that and apply it to that. And that should make this now. And yep, so that means, so that's currently closed. And then when the weather switches to be not temperate, that'll open. That's fine. And we can essentially do the same with this. So we can automate this off of the weather. This one. And what we want is when it's on, we want it to be 0.9. And when it's off, we want it to be 1. I'll then copy that and apply it to that one. And that'll be fine. So that's going to allow us to make use of the excess water coming out of here. And at least dump it into here. So we're getting potentially maximal use out of this. I can see some pausing still. That's fine. I guess it's because this still fills up. Should all work out. It should all work out. If you want to change it, well, I mean, these are linked, so because the dams are 0.6, so it should work. It should work. Working okay. Let's go with it. It's getting more water into here, so yeah, it's doing a thing. It's doing a thing. And we're refilling this, which we didn't do last time. And it looks like we are actually going to refill it. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with that. Why are you... you're probably paused because our water supplies are full. Well, that's better than a kick in the, isn't it? Yep. So happy with that job. So let's come over here and actually have a look at doing something with this, shall we? So down here, we want to put in, I think the first thing we should probably look at putting in is a tubeway connection. Which means we need to get underneath all of this stuff. So, or we could come around the back here, I guess. What's the easiest way? Because easy is good. And I guess we then throw in there's an end of a tubeway there. It doesn't have to be an end, does it? No, it doesn't really. What's the closest point? Probably that. So tunneling, a vertical tubeway tunnel. There. I think that's District 1, which is fine. So there. What I'm going to do, I think, is put a district crossing in at that level. So let's what I like to do is 7460. That is a vertical tubeway tunnel, right? Because we know I keep getting that wrong. So 7460. And I need to be zoomed out enough that I can see when I've hit the bottom. 460. That's 7459. Wow. I am really struggling with that today, folks. 7460. That is the bottom, but we are not underneath the bed of the if I put one over here, I just want to test. If I put one here, okay, I'm not far enough over. If I put one here, so if I did that, we would not be low enough. So we need to go one lower. That's fine. So let's get rid of you. Let's grab that. Let's go there. And then let's take you and we'll just come up a little bit so we're clear of that. And run across there. That's fine. And then refind my thing. Vertical tubeway tunnel. Vertical tubeway tunnel. Tubeway tunnel. There we go. And then bring that into there. That'll work. I think then we put a... Now we need to be careful here because this is going to create some issues. I think if we disconnect that and probably I'm going to need to delete that to make some space. I can then put that there. I think we can do that and we'll let that percolate for a bit. But I think this is in District 1 still. So if I try and do that, I thought it was going to be unhappy. I guess because it's not connected yet. I'm going to leave that unconnected for now. Because I think if they try and connect all those up, it'll be unhappy. So the next thing I want to try and think about is power. So more tunnels. First simple step is that. And I suspect, yeah, that they can just do quite easily because it runs under the wall. So they should hopefully be able to connect that up. And then we'll address some of that. I maybe don't like that, but maybe that'll be okay actually as an entrance way. The other things we need to work on are our other ramparts. He says not confidently at all. But anyway, so let's get those built. And again, because I'm going to do things that are somewhat excessive as the bad tide starts. And how did we end up for a water supply? Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Right. Yeah. Anyway, back to focusing on focusy things. Power. No, tunnel. They can focus good. You. Power. Vertical power shaft. You. Right. You. You. Or you need to be deleted because you need to be one of them. Get one of them. Put you there. Come over here. Delete you. Get a tunnel. You put you there. Power. Grab 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Grab you. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Rid of those. Grab you. 1, 2, 3. Grab you. Grab you. Which way are you facing? Yep, put you there. Now we just have this corner, which is a bit of an oddity. But what I think we'll do is just do one of the little jobbies there. So you can go. Grab you. Just move some of this path out of the way. Rid of you. Get rid of you. And bosh. You. I'm just randomly building blocks, it would seem. So you need to go. You. Yeah, that's right. You. Ultimately, you end up hollow. So you. Rid of you. Passage. And then we need the ability to build it all, don't we? Yes. Let's put that along. No. There. Get rid of that and that. Put that there and there. Let's put there. Let's hook that into the path system. Let's put that there. Yeah, let's put you there. Pause you. Throw that there. Let them build a bunch of that. Put that there. And that should let them build most of that. Right, let's have a quick look underground, shall we? They will be limited on some of the progress they can make. Have I not connected this up to stuff? I have not. You are a random piece there. So I think you have a piece there. Yeah. And then maybe it'll work. They connect that up. They can then connect that up. And maybe that'll work. We'll come back to that in a little bit. And just checking. Yep, there is nothing like laying around there. So I'll let them come back to that in a bit. Power. Power is a thing that we need. Power. Power. I was corrected. These are unnecessary. The clutches that I put in. The been so long since I've used these. This system is not needed. It was me misremembering how these worked. They won't charge if there isn't sufficient power, so that's fine. Yeah. Why are you running? Aren't you paused? Yeah, because I was dumb. I did a dumb, so we need to come in here and adjust that because it's not that big, is it? No, it's not. We want that to be like a 0.5 save and 1.5 save. There we go. I'll sort that out. Yep. So while those guys are working on that, seeing as we are in the middle of a quiet period, a bad time. So this is still going to, it's not better actually, but anyway, what we can do, let's come in here. Are going to show beavers, and we are going to go into District 1. We're going to check that they aren't doing any building jobs. Thank you for the person that pointed out that I can do this. Don't know if this is a new feature. District crossing is fine. Yep. So we're going to come down here. We are going to begin to deal with this little issue at means building a path down this rather crooked river. We are headed to here. So blast through that. That's a relatively easy route. So let's put a ladder there. This is just a bit of a nightmare to get to be honest with you folks. But what we're going to do is we're going to take those out. We are going to platform path under tunnel to there. We are going to take those trees out. We're going to take you out. We are going to take you out. We are going to tunnel through. I guess we could just dynamite through that. We will go through those and we'll take those out, and that will get us to being able to hopefully cap that off. So that's going to be one of the jobs for District 1, who I think are also busy trying to get to this guy. So yeah, we'll keep them busy. Keep the beavers busy, because busy beavers are happy beavers. Why can't they get to that? hate doing tube networks. I really do. That is too far from a district and cannot be reached. That is a vertical tubeway. Next to it is a tubeway under platform tunnel. I am from under tubeway tunnel. I am somewhat confused, Ed. That's connected. I believe that one has connected into it. Yep. That's connected, that's connected, that's connected. That one has then not connected. Vertical tubeway. Too far from a district and cannot be reached. One is confused. Tubeway under platform tunnel. There's a tubeway in the middle. Well, darn it. I guess that means we are going to have to demolish all of that and put in a bunch of tubeways. That top one doesn't need to be a vertical tubeway, I don't think. But yeah, I think that was the problem. There's your problem. So we'll come back to that in a bit. And these guys are doing the thing and getting through here and round here. Now, it might have been easier to like path round this, but you know, when have I ever done things the easiest way? Rarely, I know. And some of this could just be dynamite, which would be significantly easier. And I might make that change just because that will make my life easier. So those could be dynamite. So let's do that. These guys are getting this built, which is cool. That they can't get to that one now, so I shouldn't have put that in. That's fine. We'll let them get all of these built. So they're going to need over here some access as well. So let's give them access, you know. More for accessibility. There we go. Help the beavers get access to the things that they need the access to. That's working. That's working. So I don't want to get too many projects going on at once, because otherwise we won't actually achieve what we're trying to achieve, and that will be annoying. So, right, you can go. Interesting that they've got to that one, but not that one yet. I guess they've tunneled in from that side. Okay. Go. Let's get some paths going on. Get that going. And then, so the plan is to cap this guy and then fill the hole in. And then this becomes accessible and usable again in the fullness of time. Right, let's go back under here. So this is the corner we were attacking, and they are now beginning to make progress. Excellent. So if I was to be a beaver thinking about living underground under here, and by we I mean I said we wanted housing for something like 100 beavers, I think, at 16 a pop. That's actually, if I use the row houses, 8 a pop, that is how many row houses? So 80, 96 would be 12, wouldn't it? So if I started from the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That one's. I'm gonna fit in there. Okay, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That works quite nicely. And that gives us a whack ton of housing. That is a non-SI unit, the whack ton. But I think that works. Quite a compact way of fitting the housing in. Compact and bijou, Morton. Compact and bijou. Showing my age there. But anyway, let's let them get that done, and we'll come back to that. Let's throw in the decorative bits and pieces. So you, I'm guessing they're not going to be able to reach. Are they going to be able to reach you? Let's see. I don't think they will. Worry about power in a bit. Yes, I'm still struggling with the design for some of that, which is why we're stalling a tad. But anyway, back over here. Here and here and here. Too far from a district and cannot be reached. I do not believe. I do not believe it. I do actually, because we need to put a piece of path in there. Then they should be able to get to that and rip all of that out. So let's do a little bit of prioritization, because then they'll actually come do it. And let's dive back underground. And they're making decent progress on that. Those guys are making progress on building the housing. Awesome. All going swimmingly. And I'm just trying to minimize the thorns that have to be ripped out, just because although we've got a big army of beavers, chewing through thorns does take a little while. So the least thorns we have to rip out, the better, was my thought. To get to this, which we are nearly at, and then we want to come in here. We want to grab a badwater discharge and bung that on there. And soon we will be able to get to it. We may or may not need to put a bridge in. Nope, they can get to it already. Brilliant. So we'll need to haul in a whole load of resources, but we've got an army of builders to work on that. And they should be on their way shortly. And hopefully we've got all of the resources we need just sat laying around. And I think this is the last of the surprises and here they come. I think this is the last of the surprises that's built into the map that we are getting dealt with. Oh, there we go. There go all the gears. All of the gear. Very good YouTube channel. Very funny. Well, I think it's very funny. Come on. All right, let's get that. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Let's check on our tunnel. How are we doing? Where is our tunnel? There. Okay, I'm making solid progress on that. You can still get to it. Good stuff. What's that? I'd never really looked at what this does underground. It's just a big old cavern from the hole from the explosives. That's fine. But all we need is some metal blocks. We have lots of metal blocks, so we will soon be done with this nightmare mess thing. So what we're going to do next is think about irrigation. And I think before we think about irrigation, actually, we're going to think about ripping out more stuff. Because, you know, that's fun. So let's come over here. We'll get rid of those. So let's make you an empty. Let's grab the delete tool because we really don't need any of the logs. And probably what I need to do, or what would be easier, would be to install the mod that allows the planting of random forests. So that'll make it a bit quicker. Let's hook you up and get you emptied. Yeah. Come on. You need 8 more metal blocks. Come on, get that finished. Now we're looking down here. We have lots of building still to do. Yeah. We also have all of the hooking up of all of the power to do still. So, but we will want power in this complex as well. So, you know. Come on. Come on. We have metal blocks. You can bring over 8 metal blocks, beavers. You can go. Let's hook you up and empty you. Hook you up. Empty you before they start bringing logs over and putting them in. Let's start. Oh, we need to get into that. It's annoying. Who puts thorns in the ground? Evil map maker. That's who. To demolish that, at least we can get to it. That's a plus. You can go. You can go. That we can get to from here. So let's mark all of this to be demolished. Yes, I know it's lots of trees, but we're sat on 7,000 logs. So, you know, at this point, I don't think it matters. If I end up regretting that, then you can point that out to me later. Okay? Deal. Good job. Let's give them access to those as well. Get access to that and empty that. Those have all been emptied. Good stuff. There is a little stash under there. But we don't really need it at the moment, so that's fine. Oh, they can get to that. Fair enough. So I have started playing a not for YouTube save on the Delta map. It's quite a cool map, and I'm running it on Apocalypse mode. But partly because I'm contemplating doing that level of difficulty for the next series. Apart from the fact that some periods of it are a little bit dull. What do I mean by that? You spend fairly long periods with not a lot to do sometimes. And I spent some relatively long periods just running the game on 4x to get stuff done. And to like skip time. And that's not always work well with making content. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see. Right. So the way I feel like doing this, Eric, there's a couple of ways we can do irrigation. There's many ways you could do irrigation. But in this situation, there are a few ways we can tackle irrigation for the purposes of this project. We can do small irrigation ponds with water dumps and pumping water into barrels. Obviously, we're doing a lot of pumping water into barrels anyway. We can do irrigation channels, and there are probably a few other methods. I'm going to see if we can use irrigation channels for this. So with irrigation ponds in them. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. That does mean we will naturally use a bit more water, but it's fine. It particularly means we'll use a bit more water because I'm not worried about being hyper efficient. Because I'm not measuring any of this, I'm just kind of going by not feel, but basically I can't be bothered to measure it. So, yeah. I think some of that is stemming from the fact that I haven't eaten yet today, and it's a bit later in the day than it should be, and my brain is not running as effectively as it should be. But anyway, let's ignore that fact and the fact that I've told you that, and let's carry on playing video games. Yeah, good. I'll do that. I didn't mark those to be deleted, so let's do that. We'll get rid of you. We'll get rid of you through the means of adding more paths. Yep. We will then run lines of explosives through here and here, and not there. Delete tool, so don't want that there. Grab you. hoping. Well, I don't need to hope, I can tell you. That's close enough that that should irrigate all of that. Because the irrigation should spread. Alright, anyway, I'm going to put one there as well, just for symmetry, I guess. And I'm going to run a line of explosives there. And that way we'll have 2 pumps. We probably need more power generation, but what we might do is use a flywheel to store enough power. To do that, we're probably going to have to put a grid of them up here as well. And maybe down here, but we can start to use gravity to feed these. So that'll be fine. And we do have a lot of power available down here once we've cleared out the mess of thorns. So that'll be fine. We might need to run some pathage to get the beavers to this stuff without them going over all of the explosives. Yeah, we might do. I've also lost track of how long I've been recording because I've had to stop to answer the door a few times. So that's annoying. It's a trend with this recording slot that I have in the week. So we are almost connected, which is good. And I am just going to check how long I've been going for while the beavers work on ripping that stuff out. So yeah, we are a reasonable length. So I think what we'll try and do is get this lot hooked up. And I think probably what would be sensible is to delete that path for now. Go that way. And we will, come on, then detonate all of this and then re-establish access. There we go. Look at that lovely, lovely set of irrigation stuffs. So we need, I would like, we'll use a throttling valve because, no, let's use the fill valve. Because then we can use the level function when it gets full. That'll work, and then we will get rid of some of these bits of path. We are going to need path, but not just yet. And then probably going to need to use some explosives again. You need to be triple explosives. You need to be at least double explosives. We're going to need to explode a load of this out. But anyway, landscaping, single, triple, single, triple. Essentially, we need to get this down to be somewhere near the bottom. And I guess to help with that, bung that on there. Oh, they're not. Put that on there, and if we put that there, we can put that on there, and then we can put path through there and do that, and then they can place loads of that, and then we'll be better. So that's good. Right, over here, have we broken on through to the other side? Very nearly, very nearly. It's taken them so long. We have built all of the housing, which is good. So this is just taking me forever. I know, and I'm sure it's frustrating, but it's kind of is what it is, folks. It's just taking me a while, and I am still struggling with the creativeness to I think do this justice, and I want to do it well. So power shaft under platform tunnel. So grab those, and essentially I want to hook that up to there. That way, yep. That way. That way, and I'm hoping we can build most of that. And then we can worry about how we hook that up to an actual power source. This must be so close now. Yep, 2 bits to go. So, and then we are going to need a district crossing, I'm pretty sure. So we'll test it in a moment when they actually put that in. Should be fairly quick. And metal block, please. There we go. So yeah, now I think if I grab piece of path, put it there. Yeah, see, it won't let me because that's District 1, I believe. Yeah. So what we need to do is out of here go. I don't know if we can put it straight next to it. Yeah, district crossing. I don't know if that'll work or not. But and try, I guess. I don't know if you need a gap on a piece of path or not. I've never done this before. First time playing Timberpunk. No, not first time playing Timberpunk. You know what I mean. And then we do that. Now that means this is not quite what I want, because it's therefore not tubeway connected to the rest of the world. But it doesn't need to be. So, doesn't need to be. Because essentially the beavers are just going to live here. So, yeah. That's done. Don't know what I was hoping to achieve from that, I guess, because it's not quite achieved what I was hoping for. But anyway. Let's come back over here. We're going to finish up this little irrigation project, and I think we're going to call it an day. So, you. So, yes, that's a double. That's a triple. That looks like triples to me. I mean, clearly we need to clear out more. Clearly we need to clear, yes. It's good word usage there. So. But we can do that from below once we've built the other stuffs. So, you know. You. And then you can go. And that can't go yet. Well, it can if we move it, I guess. If we put it there. And across there. And then you can go. Yep, that's fine. So then you can go. And you. And we probably want to do the same and move that to there. Now let's tidy up this mess of paths. So get rid of you, get rid of you, you. In fact, let's get rid of all of that. Grab that. Come across to there, to there. That's a bit neater. Grab the deep mechanical pump, put you there, put you there. Let's be a bit neater and do an internal connection. Like that. And power. Either put one of those spinning in the water, which might look kind of cool. There. There. They're probably not going to spin it up to full speed, but there. You. No. No, no, no. No. You. You could go. You really shouldn't be there. By landscaping, obviously, we mean the liberal application of explosives. That should be, it should be double explosives. Let's clear that down to ground level. You can go there, and then you go there. Just going to delete that. I don't care if we end up losing some kohlrabis at this point. It really doesn't matter. If I put one there, because we won't be able to reach that one. We will need to do something slightly different for irrigating some of the other stuff. And this is not going to, I'm not sure this is going to generate enough power to do everything, but you know, it'll do something. It'll do something. Right. You, and that gets us almost all the way down to the bottom. Most of the way down. Right. Hook you up. Come out of there. Why not? Gone to the trouble to make a nice, neat power connection between the. I know I could go down, but where's the fun in that, hey? Get your mind out of the gutter. And yes, I know that means my mind's in the gutter, but hey. Do that. Yeah, something like that. Let's hook you up to there for now. Yes, we have a lot of planting to do. Yes, I could maybe make these deeper and put a cap over the top. Doesn't affect the evaporation, so I don't think I'm going to. Having the exposed water, I think, will be okay. So they've now closed in this. This will all eventually evaporate, and that bit of contamination will go away. And we are getting irrigations. which is kind of cool. Obviously have a lot of planting to do. We have a lot more irrigation to put in, but it's a start. And we're finishing the bad side with quite a lot of water stored. Still got more stuff to do with all of our water management, but you know, I think we're in a pretty good place with that. So I'm going to end here. Next time, I will work yet again on trying to progress and not procrastinate on the fortress. Might do a bit of background prep on that. And we'll keep working on irrigation stuff. Now, probably this would be a good place for clutch, because we want to make sure that we're getting maximum water out during times water is produced. It might be a good idea to bring this power connection across. This needs a bit more thought. Anyway, folks, thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you guys next time.